Hello and welcome to another episode of Current Affairs MCQ. Let us begin with the previous day's question. Regarding the assistance in deploying energy efficient technologies in industries and establishments scheme, consider the following statements. 1. It has been launched by the Union Ministry of Power in collaboration with the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. 2. It aims to accelerate the adoption of advanced energy efficient technologies across India's micro, small, and medium enterprises sector to reduce overall energy consumption. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option C. The Union Ministry of Power, in collaboration with the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, has launched the Assistance in Deploying Energy Efficient Technologies in Industries and Establishments scheme. Hence, statement 1 is correct. It aims to accelerate the adoption of advanced energy efficient technologies across India's micro, small, and medium enterprises sector. It can help MSMEs reduce energy consumption by 30 to 50%, improve efficiency, and contribute to green energy corridors. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer.
Welcome SSC aspirants. Drishti SSC is here to support you every step of the way. With free live classes, previous year questions, PYQs, demo classes, exam notifications, and strategy videos. Whether you're starting your journey or looking to refine your preparation, we've got you covered. Subscribe to our channel and stay updated with all the resources you need to crack your SSC exams. For more details, call us at 8750187501.
Now, let's begin with the first question. With reference to deepfakes, consider the following statements. 1. Deepfakes are synthetic media generated using generative adversarial networks. 2. Natural language processing is used for cloning voices. 3. India has no specific law on deepfakes, but the Information Technology Act 2000 addresses digital impersonation and cheating. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option C. Deepfakes are synthetic media, videos, images, or audio that are made using generative adversarial networks to falsely depict someone saying or doing something they never actually did. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Two neural networks, a generator and a discriminator, collaborate to produce and improve synthetic content. A generator makes fake content and a discriminator tries to detect it. The generator improves until it can fool the discriminator. Natural language processing is used for cloning voices. Lip syncing techniques align deepfake audio with video. Hence, statement 2 is correct. India doesn't have a dedicated law for deepfakes, but several existing laws offer partial protection. Section 66D of the Information Technology Act 2000 targets impersonation and cheating via digital means. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Further, Section 67, 67A, and 67B of the Act can be used to prosecute individuals for publishing or transmitting deepfakes that are obscene or contain any sexually explicit acts. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 2. The Sevilla Commitment recently seen in the news is related to A. A global agreement on the regulation of artificial intelligence in warfare. B. A UN-led framework to finance sustainable development and reform global financial systems. C. A climate agreement signed under the UNFCCC to reduce global carbon emissions. D. A World Bank initiative to privatize public infrastructure in developing countries. The correct answer is option B. The Sevilla Commitment is a comprehensive framework developed and adopted during the 4th International Conference on Financing for Development held in Sevilla, Spain. It aims to close the USD 4 trillion annual SDG financing gap in developing countries, address the global debt crisis, and remove the international financial architecture amidst rising debt and economic instability. FFD is a UN-led platform organized once in a decade by the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs and the UN Economic and Social Council. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 3. With reference to the cabinet committees, consider the following statements. 1. They are extra constitutional bodies set up under the Transaction of Business Rules 1961. 2. The Appointments Committee of the Cabinet comprises the Prime Minister and the Minister of Home Affairs. 3. The Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs is currently headed by India's Defence Minister. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option C. Cabinet committees are extra constitutional bodies set up under the Transaction of Business Rules 1961, derived from the Article 77, Clause 3 of the Constitution. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The cabinet committees in India include the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, Cabinet Committee on Security, Cabinet Committee on Accommodation, Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs, Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs, Cabinet Committee on Investment and Growth, Appointments Committee of the Cabinet, and Cabinet Committee on Skill, Employment and Livelihood. Appointments Committee of the Cabinet is a high-level committee of the Government of India responsible for appointments to top-level civil services, departmental heads and senior positions in public sector undertakings. It comprises 2 members, the Prime Minister, Chairperson, and the Minister of Home Affairs, member. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs normally takes decisions on matters placed before it for consideration through circulation of papers. Currently, it is headed by India's Defence Minister. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 4. Regarding the Axiom 4 mission, consider the following statements. 1. It features an international crew from the United States, India, Poland and Hungary. 2. The Axiom 4 mission includes a key study focused on making space travel possible for insulin-dependent diabetic individuals. 3. As a part of the mission, ISRO is sending tardigrades or water bears to the ISS to study how life can survive in extreme space conditions. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option C. Axiom Mission 4 is the 4th private space flight to the ISS operated by Axiom Space, a US-based space company using the SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft. With this, Shubhanshu Shukla will become the second Indian to travel in space after Rakesh Sharma in 1984 and the first Indian to set foot on the ISS. Axiom Space's 14-day mission aboard the ISS will conduct scientific experiments, tech demonstrations, and educational outreach, advancing its goal to build the first commercial space station and transition from ISS reliance to an independent orbital platform. It features an international crew comprising members from the United States, India, Poland, and Hungary. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The Axiom 4 mission includes a key study focused on making space travel possible for insulin-dependent diabetic individuals. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Currently, such patients are excluded from astronaut selection due to challenges in managing blood sugar levels in microgravity. As a part of the mission, ISRO is also sending tardigrades, microscopic water-dwelling organisms known for surviving extreme conditions, to the ISS. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 5. With reference to the Consumer Price Index, consider the following statements. 1. It is a measure used to track changes in the price level of a basket of consumer goods and services over time. 2. The CPI is calculated by the Ministry of Finance on a monthly basis. 3. The CPI for industrial workers is calculated separately from the general CPI to reflect sector-specific consumption patterns. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option B. The Consumer Price Index is a measure that tracks changes in the prices of a fixed basket of consumer goods and services over time. Hence, statement 1 is correct. It essentially reflects how much more or less consumers are paying for the same goods and services and is a key indicator of inflation or deflation. In India, the CPI is compiled and released by the National Statistical Office, which operates under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. The NSO calculates the CPI on a monthly basis. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. The CPI for industrial workers is calculated separately from the general CPI to reflect the unique consumption patterns and spending habits of industrial workers. This ensures that the index accurately represents the inflation experienced by this specific group. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 6. Consider the following statements. 1. Shivaji Maharaj's administrative system was based on decentralization and was supported by a council of ministers known as the Ashtapradhan. 2. He maintained a navy and built coastal forts like Sindhudurg and Vijayadurg to protect maritime interests. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option C. Shivaji Maharaj implemented a decentralized administration supported by the Ashtapradhan, a council of 8 ministers, each handling key areas like administration, finance, intelligence, military, foreign affairs, justice, religion, and documentation. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Shivaji built a strong navy to protect the Konkan coast and counter threats from the Portuguese, Siddhis of Janjira, and other maritime powers. Key coastal forts included Sindhudurg, built on an island near Malvan. It served as a naval base, and Vijayadurg, a strategically located fort on the western coast. His naval strategy ensured maritime security, trade protection, and territorial control. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 7. Regarding the POSH Act, consider the following statements. 1. It was enacted in 2013 to enforce the Vishakha guidelines on sexual harassment of women at workplace. 2. Employers must set up an internal complaints committee at workplaces with 10 or more employees to handle sexual harassment complaints. Which of the statements given above is or are not correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option D. POSH Act was enacted by the Government of India to address the issue of sexual harassment in workplaces and ensure a safe and conducive environment for women. The Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013, commonly known as the POSH Act, was enacted to give effect to Vishakha guidelines. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The genesis of the POSH Act lies in the landmark 1997 Supreme Court judgment in Vishakha and others versus State of Rajasthan, which formulated the Vishakha guidelines to safeguard women from sexual harassment. The Act defines sexual harassment in broad terms, including unwelcome physical contact, sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, sexually colored remarks, showing pornography, and other unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature, whether physical, verbal, or non-verbal. Employers are required to constitute an ICC at each workplace with 10 or more employees to receive and address complaints of sexual harassment. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Question 8. Consider the following statements. 1. The RBI can use the marginal standing facility rate to inject liquidity into the banking system overnight. 2. The standing deposit facility introduced by the RBI does not require collateral from banks. 3. RBI publishes the Financial Stability Report annually to assess systematic risks in financial sector. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option B. The Reserve Bank of India can utilize the marginal standing facility rate to inject liquidity into the banking system overnight. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The MSF is a tool for scheduled commercial banks to borrow from RBI when they face a shortage of funds and have exhausted all other options, including borrowing under the liquidity adjustment facility. The standing deposit facility introduced by the RBI is a collateral-free mechanism for banks to park their excess liquidity with the central bank. Hence, statement 2 is correct. RBI publishes the Financial Stability Report twice a year to evaluate the health of Indian financial system and identify potential risks. Hence, statement 3 is not correct. This report assesses both domestic and global factors that could impact financial stability in India. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 9. Consider the following statements regarding the protection of children from sexual offences. POCSO Act 2012. 1. It was enacted in consequence to India's ratification of UN Convention on the Rights of the Child 1992. 2. Individuals who traffic children for sexual purposes are punishable under the abatement provisions of the Act. 3. POCSO Act was amended in 2019 to include death penalty for those convicted of sexual crimes against children. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 only. C. 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option D. The POCSO Act was enacted to address sexual exploitation and abuse of children, defining a child as anyone below 18 years. It was enacted in consequence to India's ratification of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child 1992. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The Act is gender neutral, protecting both boys and girls from sexual abuse. It provides for interim compensation by special courts and immediate relief through the Child Welfare Committee for urgent needs. People who traffic children for sexual purposes are punishable under the provisions related to the abatement in the Act. The Act prescribes stringent punishment graded as per the gravity of the offence, with a maximum term of rigorous imprisonment for life and fine. Hence, statement 2 is correct. It was amended in 2019 to include the death penalty as a possible punishment for aggravated penetrative sexual assault on children in certain circumstances. Specifically, if such an assault results in the child's death or leaves them in a persistent vegetative state, the death penalty can be imposed. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Question 10. With reference to BRICS, consider the following statements. 1. The 17th BRICS Summit was held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. 2. India will assume the BRICS chairship and host the 18th BRICS Summit in 2026. 3. In 2024, Iran, UAE, Egypt and Ethiopia joined the group, while Indonesia became a member in 2025. How many of the statements given above is or are not correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option D. The 17th BRICS Summit was held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, under the theme Strengthening Global South Cooperation for More Inclusive and Sustainable Governance, and signed the Rio de Janeiro Declaration. Hence, statement 1 is correct. India will assume the BRICS chairship and host the 18th BRICS Summit in 2026. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The initial 5 BRICS members were Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. In 2024, Iran, the United Arab Emirates, Egypt and Ethiopia joined the group, while Indonesia joined in 2025. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Now, let us look at a practice question. With reference to the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, consider the following statements. 1. It is empowered to frame regulations related to food labeling, packaging and fortification. 2. The Eat Right India movement is an initiative of the FSSAI to promote healthy eating habits. 3. FSSAI directly conducts inspections and audits of food businesses across India. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 only. C. 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. Please provide your answers in the comment section.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.